Hey cocktail fans, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 Halloween inspired cocktails using William Fox's Witches Brew syrup. This is actually toffee apple in flavour, which makes it perfect for this time of the year. But also because it's black in colour or very, very dark in colour, it makes it really super easy to kind of theme your drinks up to that Halloweeny twist. And also there will be various different garnishes coming out to play, but for a lot of these cocktails, I'm actually going to be using Frona's dried apple. They don't get much love actually for that, mainly because I haven't got them until now. But these are the dried apple. You can kind of see how cool they are there. So recipe number 1, I've called this a toffee apple crumble sour. If you want to go down the Halloween route and rename this cocktail, of course, go for it. Ingredients you're going to need for this: some plain vodka, you could riff this up with a raspberry vodka even, some amaretto di serrano, the Witches Brew, as I say, toffee apple. Got some lemon juice. I've got the foamers. We're going to kind of turn this into a little foamy. You could use egg white there as kind of the replacement. And then I've just got a little bit of a biscotti I'm just going to crumble on top. So shaken cocktail, we're going to add 45 ml, 1.5 ounces of vodka, 15 ml, half an ounce of amaretto, 20 ml of the Witches Brew syrup. Look at that, lovely black in colour. And it really does pop of toffee apple actually. First time I've opened it. Smells great. 20 ml of our ODK lemon juice, and then 6 to 8 drops of our magical velvet foamers. Double strain into your favourite coupe glass or even into a rocks glass over ice. Then garnish with a piece of our dried apple, and then I'm just going to crumble some bits of biscotti biscuit just over the top there to give it that little crumbly vibe. That is lovely. Toffee apple it does really taste like a proper toffee apple, but with those little bit of almond notes and that sort of balance with the citrusy and that lovely consistency with the foam. That's delicious. Recipe number 2, I'm going to do a toffee apple hot toddy for you. This is always kind of like a mulled toffee apple because we are actually using warm apple juice. So I've got some whiskey. You could swap that out for some rum. I've got the Monin winter spice syrup. This cocktail is going to be made in 2 stages. We'll show you this in a second. The Witches Brew toffee apple syrup, some lime juice. I've heated some local apple juice up to me. It's quite dry actually, so it's not sweet, which means the sweetness, it won't be over sweet if you add syrups and stuff like this. And then I've got the foamers out because even though this is mulled, I'm going to do a winter spice foam on top. In a warmed up heat-proof glass, I'm going for 30 ml of whiskey or your rum of choice, just 10 ml or a couple of wedges of lime juice, 20 ml of the William Fox Black Witches Brew toffee apple syrup. Add in your warm apple juice, probably about 150 ml. Then give it a quick stir to combine those ingredients, because don't forget the syrup's quite thick and that'll be sitting at the bottom. So stir it in. And then back in the cocktail shaker, this is actually tap water. I don't have a tap in here, so this is tap water out of the filter machine in there. Going for 50 ml UK double bubble of water, 10 ml of your winter spice syrup, 6 drops of your Still Abundant Magic Velvet foamers. Quick whip shake without any ice. And already that smells absolutely fantastic. Just pour your winter spiced foam just on top, and that should float lovely there. And then garnish with another dried apple from Frona. That's got a lovely bitter sweetness to it. The apple, the toffee apple syrup really comes through. It's like got this bitter sweet. If you know what a toffee apple tastes like, it's kind of got this bitter, burnt-y kind of apple vibe to it. But the winter spice syrup on top, the foam, winter spice foam on top, just sets that off a treat. That is delicious. Halloween recipe 3, essentially a toffee apple margarita. And we're going sort of Tommy style. We're going to serve it over ice. Tequila of choice. I've got a Reposado tequila here. We've got the toffee apple syrup, Witches Brew syrup, some triple sec, and some lime juice. 45 ml, 1.5 ounces or 50 ml UK double bubble of your tequila of choice, 15 ml, half an ounce of triple sec, and then 22.5 ml or 25 ml UK of lime juice, and then 20 ml of this Witches Brew syrup. Single strain over an ice-filled tumbler. Then again, I'm just going to garnish with another dried apple. Don't be put off by the colour. That tastes really good as well. It's that toffee apple. It's just a margarita with a toffee apple, and apple does work with tequila quite well. Again, you know, the colour, I know a colour's going to put a lot of people off, but these are Halloween inspired. That's really good. The fourth recipe, keeping this nice and simple, but you can take this in so many different directions as well. I'm going for a toffee apple mule. Very simply, vodka, the witch's brew syrup, lime juice, a couple of wedges of lime, or and your ginger ale. You can turn this into ginger beer. You could add an apple liqueur. You could go for a berry liqueur in here because berries and apples work really well. You can even add some bitters, Angostura bitters into this, but I'm just keeping this very, very simple. Build into a highball, 45ml, 1.5 ounces, or a UK 50ml double bubble of vodka, 15ml, 1/5, half an ounce of the witch's brew syrup, 10ml of lime juice, semi-top up with ginger ale. Give it a quick stir to combine all those ingredients. Remember, the syrup's heavy and just sits at the bottom. Top up with a bit more ice and crown with a bit more ginger ale. And then, of course, we're going to garnish again with our dried apple. Why not? Ginger ale is one of my favourite mixes anyway. Apple and ginger, of course, it is a match made in heaven. You've just got that sort of depth of flavour from the sort of toffee vibe in there as well. Again, it's just a delicious Halloween-inspired cocktail. And then you'll find a piece of inspiration using this toffee apple syrup. It's just simply, I'm going to do it a rum-fashioned, but you could do an old-fashioned. So we've got a toffee apple rum-fashioned. I brought in a really decent rum from home. Again, rum of choice, whiskey of choice. This will kind of work for that. We know apple goes with whiskey anyway. Think Jack Daniel's apple, think Jim Beam apple, that kind of vibe. So, and rum and apple, not so much done, but rum sort of is a long mixer with apple juice, definitely. But this will work, I promise. And then we've got bitters of choice. You could do, if you're like me at home and you've got various different flavours of bitters, have a little play. I'm just doing standard Angostura bitters. So into a mixing glass, you want 2 ounces, 60ml of your rum or whiskey of choice. And then dealer's choice, 5 to 15ml of the toffee apple syrup. I'm going for 10, and just a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters. Stir down for the amount of time that you want to dilute the drink. Basically, the longer you stir, the more dilution you'll add. If you just want it lightly chilled, stir for sort of 10 seconds. If you want it a bit more diluted, 30, 45 seconds, it's up to you. Single strain into a Nick and Nora glass or even a whiskey glass over ice. Then out of all the drinks, this one definitely deserves a dried apple on the side. And I can confirm that the apple and rum work really well. I love neat rum anyway, so I guarantee for a lot of you, you probably want a little bit more syrup just to take away the sort of the alcohol taste of the rum or the whiskey you're drinking. But if you like a rum fashion, you like neat rum, 10ml for me is perfect. But 15, I know people will do up to 25ml, but I would generally say 5 to 15ml syrup, but that is delicious.